Hello YouTubers and welcome to Vetter MTG. As promised in my previous video, I'll be opening up a fat pack of Magic Origins. Again, as I previously stated, a booster box would be preferable, but well, here we go and we're going to get this opened. Like always, the cool little player's guide for those newbies. They show off some of the coolest cards, as well as the entire set in general. I love that they add this in, as ever since, well, actually as far back as I can remember, they've had this player's guide included, which is pretty awesome. Let's get the packaging taken care of. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, these are gonna end up being thrown away. I have my own deck boxes. I'm not a huge fan of these things. They fall apart, and I would honestly recommend never using them for your cards if you don't know that already. And there's a nice little white die from my wife because she likes the multicolor ones, and I only collect the red die because, well, I'm weird. And here's the pack. So we'll open these guys up and get this taken care of. And I'm going to continue using my little Batwing keychain because I think it's cool looking. Okay, here's a bunch of excess lands. Keep in a package. Donate them to your local Magic shop. They appreciate it immensely, and it helps other players for drafts and things of that nature. And here we go on to the pack opening. I'm going to sort of skip through the commons and most of the uncommons unless I see something that's actually reasonable or kind of cool. Actually, a good memory with this card. Me and my buddy used to, back when we first started, he would use this on me a lot, and I was getting mad at him. And there is the first rare, Herald of the Pantheon. And, well, nothing really special from what I can tell. Enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life. I can only see this really viable if you're playing a lot of enchantment creatures, because having too many enchantments on the field is, well, it's seldom to never happens. Well, you guys tell me in the comments. I would love to hear ideas on how this card would be used. And then there's my foil. Okay. Now that was sort of a starter one. The rest of these I'm going to go through actually pretty quick and will likely be fast forwarded. Dark Petition. Also, again, don't know the costs or anything of these cards. I would have to look them up. I'm probably going to put a little disclaimer as to what the current cost of these cards are. But the one thing about this card that I like is that it says Spell Mastery, which, when it comes to Magic Origins, is probably one of the coolest additions in the set, in my opinion. But anyway, search your library for a card and put that card in your hand, then shuffle your library. Interesting. If there are 2 more instances... At 3, oh wow, that's actually not only mana ramp, it allows you to look for additional spells. That might have some actually decent effects. Again, tell me in the comments what you think. Graveblade Marauder, Death Touch. Whenever Graveblade Marauder deals combat damage to a player, that player loses life equal to the number of creatures in your graveyard. Also good for creature-heavy decks. Wouldn't die to a lightning bolt, which is pretty cool, but overall probably not too viable. Abbot of Carol Keep. Prowess. When Abbot of Carol Keep enters the battlefield, exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. Spell heavy decks, probably Spell Mastery in here would be pretty cool, but again, not very viable for my purposes. And there's our mythic, Pyromancer's Goggles. Legendary artifact, tap, add red to your mana pool. When that mana is spent to cast a red instant or sorcery spell, copy that spell and you may choose new targets for the copy. Interesting, but unfortunately the mana cost is too high to be viable in most modern decks. I could see this being used in Burn if it was maybe a 3 or 4 cost tops, but pretty cool card. And then a foil rare, another Herald of Pantheon, which is pretty cool. And a cool little Thopter token. Okay. Majoring Responder. I know this guy. Majoring Responder does an untap during your untap step. Untap Majoring Responder whenever Majoring Responder attacks. It deals 7 damage to target creature to target creature defending player controls. Again, cool card, too high cost, not viable in Modern. Maybe in a draft it'd be kind of fun to pull out an opponent, but overall. Cool. Paya and Kira Naylar. Chandra's parents, which is pretty cool. There's a whole lore to that is very interesting to read if you ever feel the need to look it up on the MTG Wiki, which is always a good source to, once you get really interested in these card games, the actual story involved is very intricate and very cool to watch. It is very cool to read. Anyway, when Pyre and Kira Naylar enter the battlefield, put 2 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact tokens with flying onto the battlefield, and 2 and a red, sacrifice an artifact. Pyre and Kira Naylar deal 2 damage to target creature or player. So, my thoughts again on this, because like I said in my introductory video, is that I mainly play Modern. The only thing I can possibly think of is, well, nothing except for weird artifact red builds, which I have never seen in my meta. So, again, tell me in the comments. And we have the fortunate rare sight of seeing 2 mythics in 1 fat pack. And this is a card that my wife very, very much wanted to get. Archangel of Thetis. Flying. As long as Archangel of Thetis is untapped, creatures can attack you or a planeswalker you control unless their controller unless their controller pays 1 for each of those creatures. As long as Archangel of Thetis' attacking creature can't block unless their controller plays 1 for each of those creatures. This is way more viable. I've had a couple of my buddies play against me. Granted, they play some janky legacy deck, and my wife wants to hold this in her hand, so I'm going to let her look at that. And again, respond in the comments. And then another Dark Petition, and the foil is another rare Graveblade Marauder. I've gotten a lot of doubles in this fat pack. Let me know in the comments if you've seen anything like this happen. I have half a playset on a couple of these rares. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope this has been as enjoyable for you as it has been for me. This is definitely the coolest card I've pulled out of this fat pack, and I was not expecting this one little bit, but good things happen, I guess, when you're on YouTube. Thank you again for watching Better MTG. Always remember to subscribe at the bottom, like and comment, as I've mentioned numerous times throughout this video, and have a good rest of your evening, guys.